Hello and welcome back to the channel. On my last video, what are you looking at?
You.
On my last video, on my last video, I was going to go into the benefits of converting a ex-Sainsbury's van back. What this is, old freezer van, you could say. So yeah, we'll go through some benefits. Why doing it. Now, biggest benefit I think, and probably what everyone else can think, it's they're already insulated for a start, so you kind of don't have to buy any insulation, you just start fitting everything. And another good thing is everything's square in the back. It's like you can just literally fit stuff in without chopping it down with a jigsaw or planing it or spending hours trying to get all your little knick-knack cuts. I mean, only other places there's a slope bit up front, but it's not a big deal really, you know. But exterior wise, I think there's a lot of benefits, which I'll take you through a few of them. So what I think's a good benefit is they're not metal, they're actually made of fiberglass. So it's like 2 sheets of fiberglass sandwiched between some foam. What?
Nothing.
What's what you're looking at me for?
Yeah.
So it's 2 sheets of fiberglass with a bit of foam in the middle. Now it's thinner on walls, stop laughing at me, and it's thicker on the front and the back. Not too sure why. So when you're fitting things, you can literally just... So when... Hang on a minute. Stop watching me. You're freaking me out. So... Yeah, so you can literally like stick a flex or stick sole or whatever, stick it to it and then put a couple of screws in. Obviously don't put giant size screws in, or outside of your van I'd look like somewhat off Mad Max, but yeah, that's probably not the best idea. I mean, I did it by accident once because I picked up wrong screw, but there we go. Well, that's another thing as well. If you put an hole inside of it, it's just fiberglass, so all you do is fill it and sand it off and paint it and job done. Another thing, they seem to be really rigid as well, which I was a bit concerned about, because it's like there's no metal in the walls in them, and well, on these Sainsbury's ones there doesn't seem to be any steel support or even wood in them. I'm not too sure about floor. I didn't come across anything when I cut through for diesel heater, so I kind of tried to leave as much structure in as possible. So I've got small windows and I've left this wall in between here just to try and keep it rigid. I mean, some people on forums, they kind of stop watching me, kind of just literally cut everything out of them, and no, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, it seems to work. I don't hear about anyone falling to bits, so that's that. I'll take you through the outside bit in a minute, but there's a few people outside and I feel a bit of an idiot doing it, so the one thing I like about these is the windows are really high, so people can't just peek in or look in or snoop in, which is really good. I'm like 6 feet tall. I'm like nowhere near windows at all, which I really like. Also really like, I mean, my LT is quite high off the ground, but I had to move LT's fuel tank, which sits underneath, lovely. And you can have these storage lockers on the outside for extra storage. So like I've got diesel in there and gas bottle or whatever, extra storage. Another thing, they're very easy to cut into because they're only fiberglass, so you can put windows literally wherever you want. You could put a roof vent in, but I don't really like the roof vents, I'll be honest, because they always seem to leak. Every van life for RC always reseal the roof vents and fans, so I'll just didn't bother with it and just open a window instead. Well, that light I've got is extremely bright. One good thing I think about these two is there's no metal. So obviously, like I've just said, there's fiberglass and it's insulated. So you don't get that bloody light's way too bright. Just a little bit better. You don't get mould. You don't seem to get mould accumulating in places because there's no freezing cold metal for it to condensate on. I mean, I get it on windows here because only single glazed windows. In fact, they're actually horsebox windows, but they're alright, they do job. So yeah, so I can imagine with some people's vans, after a while living in them, you'll get like mould accumulating in places, you know, like down gaps in insulation, probably places that, so you probably have to deep clean, or, I mean, through summer it's not going to be too bad, like, because everything dries out, but with these, you don't seem to do it. I had a little bit corner there, but because it was leaking on the roof, but I've sorted all that out. Or something else I'm going to go on to. Yeah, and if you do them right, everyone seems to think this is an horse box, so you don't seem to get that much attention. They say, "Oh yeah, when did you buy a horse box?" I go, "Yeah, I didn't know you had horses." So like, yeah, I got horses, yeah. Even though there's no giant door on the side of it, there's just one on the back. I don't know an horse is going to fit through that, but there we go. Everyone seems to think it's an horse box, so I can park up in car parks like this, and people just think, "Oh, he's took his horse for a walk." Brilliant. Yeah, all night. So we don't leave, do we? So yeah, you don't get, I mean, I painted it dark grey, so probably does get a bit of attention, like, you know, but unless someone asks, they kind of scratch their head. I mean, someone said it were a prison van. "Oh, when did you buy a prison van?" I'm like, "It's not a prison van." I'm like, "What is it?" Because it's a freezer bag. I think there's only one person I've shown it who's gone, "Oh, this is what, Sainsbury's van, isn't it?" You know, and I went, "Yes, you're correct. You're the only person ever." So, I mean, it's a bit unusual because the Sainsbury's vans, obviously the back of them is on a Sprinter usually. This is on an LT, so it kind of throws it out there and it makes a, like, what is it sort of thing. I haven't been pulled by police yet either. I thought police had pulled me and said, "Well, what is it and what are you doing?" Well, I live in Rotherham, so I think I'm the least police's worry around here. I think they're too busy chasing people making offensive Facebook posts. Anyway, that's for another video. So yeah, I think that wraps up a lot of video. You can literally do what you want with these. I've seen people cut doors inside them and have all the layout different. Stop watching me. I can see you staring at me. Weirdo. Anyway, what were I saying? I've lost what I was saying now because of you.
You were talking about how they can cut side though.
Yeah. What? I didn't. No, I was going to say the only cons, I think, with something like this is you can't get through to cab. You have to get out and walk around to the back door, or if you put a side door in, whatever. I don't mind it personally because I don't live in the van. I've mentioned this. We just go on weekends away, and if I go on a night out, we'll throw ourselves in the back of the van and go to sleep. Or if we stop at friends, we sleep in vans. So we've slept on the street plenty of times in it and stuff. Never had a problem. Never had anyone trying to get in. Apart from, I slept at Donny Racecourse, and I heard a lot of foreign people really early in the morning, and I heard car doors slamming and everything, and I thought, "Oh crap, I'm in for it here." But then I couldn't be bothered to get out of bed, so I just thought if van gets nicked while I'm back at it, they can just take me wherever they want to go. I couldn't really care. I've got a phone, I can phone police. Yeah, cons, sorry, that's what I was going on about, cons. Yeah, you can't get into cab, so there's that. I mean, I've seen some people online, and they've cut an opening through into cab, and that will be a Sprinter. I'm not too sure if they had 2 seats, but mine's got 3 seats, so if you were to cut a hatch and get it through, you'd have to remove a seat, and my van's 28 years old and I've not seen any more seats knocking about, plus I've got 2 children, so what's the other one going to sit on roof, you know? I sit him on roof, he can sit on roof, can't you? Yeah, I mean, you can do anything you want. Some designs that some people have done on the fridge forum that I've seen are absolutely brilliant. They make mine look crap. They've got ladders, they've got all sorts going off. I mean, I don't have ladders on mine because I'll get some drunken idiot sleeping on roof one night. So no, or kids climbing up it and being dicks and stuff. I don't want people on the roof, especially when I've got solar panels up there. Other cons, what can I think of? They're a bit wide. Probably could make it hard. Now then, this is the one that we're going to say. The Sprinter vans seem to struggle with parking spaces because they're very long. My LT just comes under 5.5 metres, which I can literally get into a parking space. And if I go on, shut up. And if I go on to a campsite, I can get away with it being a campervan, not a motorhome, which was pretty good. And the turning circle is absolutely brilliant on it because it's short wheelbase, so as car, I've got a car, and this car can't turn like this thing can, which is good. Only problem was I didn't realise how close I was to a lamppost, and I turned on it, back end on it. That was very good. But no, I think they're really good, and if anyone's thinking about converting one, I mean, you can pick them up. I got this one for £500, £500. So, and I think you can't buy a shed for that. You know, for £500 or £1,000 even. You could stick it in back garden and make a man cave out of it, or whatever, or whatever, you know. Stop it. Oh, go for it if you're gonna go for it. Go with some better design. You can lay out however you want. I mean, I managed this decent head height as well. I'm 6 foot and I can stand up in it easily with a couple of inches to spare. So I got a shower in mine. I've got everything in mind. So when we go anywhere, we like to do a bit of like swimming in, in Peak District or wherever in sea. And can park on beach or park when you used to be able to park on beach. And you can just come and get a shower, get it van and drive off. Brilliant. I mean, I've not seen many converted vans with showers in. I mean, there are some, like, obviously. Shut up! I'm 6 foot. I am 6 foot. And as I stand in my shoes, I am 6 feet. If I take my shoes off, debatable, but don't listen to them, they're lying. I am 6 liars. Yeah, something I did forget actually. The foam in these vans soaks up water. So you've got to, if you see a leak, you've got to sort it straight away. I work with the Colina fridge, articulated trailers, and they do the same. They fill it with water. They get heavier and heavier as the older they get. Now, this will do the same. It will get heavier and heavier, soak some more and more water. So, but the good thing is it's not a fridge van anymore. So I've got the heater on in here, which, and in summer it should dry it to a degree. So that was one of the reasons I painted it dark grey. So in the sun, it gets absolutely boiling hot on the outside. You can hardly touch it with your hand, which in turn heats the inside up too. I mean, it gets a bit too hot in here in summer, but what do you do? We live in England anyway, which is good, where it's always freezing, so at least it's nice to be warm to get in. And I painted the cab as well, the same colour. So, because LTs are terrible for holding water and rust and whatever else. So I painted the cab black too. So, and I always point it into the sun. So the cab gets absolutely boiling inside, which is good because it gets rid of all the moisture in between all the little nooks and crannies and dries it out. So there were actually a method in painting it a darker colour, especially in England where, as we know, it never stops raining, like all the time. So yeah, that's one I had. Black vans are good in England, but not good in Spain because you'll cook like a chicken. So that just about wraps everything up. There probably is something else that I've mentioned and I can't think. Oh, that is one thing that they mentioned. They're not as heavy as what people think. I got told they were 200 kilogram. I don't believe that. They are half a ton. If you said half a ton, that's more believable, I reckon. A guy said they were a ton. Don't think they're a ton, because when we put this on, we did it with a telehandler, and the telehandler's forks were on the rails, so we had to hold, literally get 2 guys at either side, and we literally had to hold it and drag the telehandler out so it landed on the chassis, which were dodgy as fuck, like, but we did it. And then me and the guy who bought it off, we picked the front end up and slid it across. Now, if that were a ton, there were no way we were picking that front end up and sliding it across. So I mean, he said with telehandler, he had a weight thing on it. Well, I don't know if you can get them on telehandlers, but he said it was 500 kilograms. So it's not that bad really when you think about it. So yeah, mine's pretty light still, really. Even with all this stuff in, I think it's only coming in at 2.6, 2.7, and it's a 3.5 ton vehicle. So, and when I had it weighed, I had a load of scrap, I had a load of washers and stuff in here. When I had it weighed, that's how I know, because I took it to scrap yard. Don't know how accurate the scales are, but they must be pretty accurate, you know, for scrap. So, yeah, I think they're good. I like it anyway. I think it's good. Other than that, I can't think of what else. So if you could think of what else, comment. If I'm wrong, comment. If I'm right, comment. If you don't care, don't comment. But yeah, I'll try and get more videos up now. I bought a laptop, so I can edit things a lot easier. Which before I had to do everything off my phone, which was not enjoyable whatsoever. So yeah, see you next video. I'd say what next video is going to be, but I don't know. I think next video I'm going to do something like why van life is hated, or why do people hate vans in general. I've gone through why people living in vans. Yeah, I'll think of something good. See you in a bit.